Without further ado, I think one of the main reasons that a lot of people came here, we have two of our special guests here. Very, very excited to have them here and very thankful, both of them taking time out of their busy schedules. We'll talk about both of those here in a little bit. But we want to welcome the boys up to the stage, Kyle Hiebert and Rob Thomas.
Welcome, Rob. You're right here.
Right here.
Thank you, Kyle.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're right there. Cool. All right, fellas. Well, thank you for being here. I know you're both in the midst of busy schedules in and of yourselves for different reasons, which we'll get to here. But it's not very often I feel like people get to sit here and talk to folks that play professionally here in St. Louis. So I just want to start off with maybe a little bit of a softball for you guys. But playing in St. Louis, what does it mean to you all? And you guys have played different parts throughout your upbringing and playing in soccer and hockey respectively. But how does it feel to be playing in St. Louis at a high level like this?
Yeah, I'll start. You know what? I love St. Louis. I grew up north of Toronto, kind of like a smaller town, and that's what St. Louis feels to me. Everyone I've met has been so incredibly helpful for me and my family kind of transitioning here, and couldn't be more happy to be here. Playing in St. Louis, it just feels like a family. When you go to those games, you hear people yelling every single night. You get the same excitement, and that's what I love being in St. Louis. And growing up in Toronto, it's kind of more corporate and not as fun. And you get down to the games here, and it's a blast. So I love St. Louis.
Yeah, I'd say I'd echo the same sentiment. I think just even the first game we had at City Park, just feeling the atmosphere and the energy, and it feels like a relationship where hopefully we could give something back to St. Louis, and St. Louis gave so much to myself, to my wife. Just it feels like home. I grew up a small town outside of Winnipeg, and it's like a small market feel with a large soccer expertise and knowledge.
And I know Jake's probably going to hate me for this. I'm going to jump around a couple questions. But we are very excited to announce, obviously Rob just signed an 8-year deal. He will be here through 2030, 2031 season. Forever. That's, pretty absurd. And then also Kyle as well just signed a new deal. So he will be here through 2026, likely 2027 as well. And so I think generally wanted to kind of ask a more specific question. I mean, what was the driving force of making you guys want to stick in St. Louis? I mean, Midwest, you could have gone to LA, other places. Was it the emos? Was it the pitch? What?
I'd probably say culture was a huge one for me. We have a really special culture in our locker room. And like we echoed before about St. Louis as a whole, it's a really special culture here. And as a person and as a player, that's something that I value really highly. It's a place where I felt valued, and so it was home. It's where we wanted to stay.
Yeah, similar thing to me. I'm been a competitor my whole life, and St. Louis always had a competitive team. Growing up watching the Blues, they were always a team that had a chance to win it every year. And my first 5 years, I felt the same way. I felt like we were just in it every year, and that's why it was such an easy decision. Obviously, the city's been so good to my family and welcoming, and similar things that he said every night. It's just an awesome atmosphere to play in. So those two things made it a pretty easy decision for me.
I think one of the coolest things I'm just hearing as we're talking about this is Justin and I were trying to think, how could we get these guys to join us? And then we finally got them both on board. We're like, 2 Canadians here in St. Louis. I mean, unbelievable. We're talking about St. Louis sports scene, but I feel like it kind of speaks to St. Louis, being this open arms, welcoming, anyone that wants to be here and that appreciates the culture. So I want to hear one more St. Louis welcome to these guys for being here tonight. And with that said, so obviously you guys both are at the top of your game in soccer and hockey respectively. If it wasn't that, though, what would it be? Would you be in a different job? Would you be in a different sport? Obviously, you guys come up, differently. I'm sure there's a different sports scene in Canada where you guys are both from, respectively. But what would that be? Do you have any ideas of what that would be? I mean, we see you playing Super Bowl with the boys. You obviously have some foot to you, Kyle. I mean, you're growing up in Canada. I mean, hockey is the national sport there. Do we have any other inclinations what we could be doing?
Yeah, I mean, touching on our soccer game we had a little bit ago, we schooled them pretty good. We showed them. No, these guys are great. It was actually funny because, they're always doing these nice touches and stuff, and we are horrible soccer players, so we were just kicking them at them, and it was a blast. But for me, I don't know. I always grew up, I loved baseball. Baseball was my sport in the summer. Played it all the way growing up. Other than sports, so I'd say probably something in business. I dipped my toes back into school, so I'm doing a business course right now.
Awesome.
And it's been challenging, let's say that. But probably something along those lines.
All right.
So, what's the handicap nowadays?
Ooh, handicap's pretty good. Playing out of 3 right now.
Okay.
Kyle, tell the people what you've been working on the background here.
Tell them how thankful we are to have you here with what you got going on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm taking my 3rd CPA exam tomorrow morning. And the way I kind of compare it, the CPA exam's a lot of work. It's kind of like for soccer, you have to do a whole bunch of running in the off season, and every soccer player hates running, which is kind of ironic. But you do it because you got to be in a certain shape for the season. I'd say the CPA exam is I'm hoping it can set me up to get into the financial advisor world specifically for athletes, and just understanding and having a good tax base will allow me to do that. I know riveting stuff.
I know a company, Ernst & Young. If you would like to, we can talk about it. Kev can maybe connect you in the back. Yeah, we can talk about that after it's all. Yeah,
we'll chat
after
later.
retirement. Yeah. And we'll kind of get into the sporting side of things as well. Just wanted to get a quick download from you guys. Like, talk to us what it's like to do like 1v1 defending in a game or a face-off in a Blues game. What do you guys really look for, and what makes you so good at what you do? I know that's a loaded question, so I apologize.
Break it down.
It's a good question. I'd say 1v1 defending in our system, when I first came from college, is vastly different than I was doing in college. In college, we were numbers around the ball. You're trying not to get beat. In our system, especially when you're higher up, the system is built on creating turnovers. So as a defender, you end up a lot of times putting yourself in a position to be embarrassed, but then the idea is more guys will come around the ball. I think probably the more, for me as a defender, when I'm back around the 18, it's just knowing what the attacker wants to do. Are they right-footed or left-footed? Do I have help from a center back underneath or from a midfielder coming over top? So where am I wanting to show them and just make it as predictable as possible?
And Mr. Dangle?
Face-offs, I think the most important thing is getting to know the linesmen and getting them to like you. I remember my first couple years, I honestly felt like I didn't stand a chance. I was getting thrown out. They're throwing them through the other guy's legs. No, but seriously, you kind of just get to know what people like to do. I think that's the biggest thing is you play the same guys year over year, and you kind of learn what they like to do and what they're looking for, and you just try and outsmart them. That's about it.
I love it. Well, guys, both of you have been remarkably successful, in the last year, in the last couple of years. So I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit with what's been your fondest memory in your professional career so far. I'm not going to start with you yet. You guys think about a second one. Kyle, obviously Western Conference, remarkable accomplishment this year. No one expected this at all. But what would you say has been your biggest highlight so far of your professional career?
Yeah, I'd say the start of this year. So it was, coming from the second team, we had all these big name guys coming in, and I was trying to get on that game day roster to get to Austin. My parents, they booked flights there before I even knew if I'd be on that roster. We go down to Austin, and before the game, they put every analyst who gets paid a lot of money to do their job. It was like last, second last. And so they just read off everything they said about our team, and that was just such a wild game for those who were able to see it. We were up, and then we were down, and then it was a comeback win. And we survived at the end, and just the excitement and it was like the whole group. That injured guys traveled with their families, and there was a 3-year-old Swedish kid in the locker room after the game who I think he learned a new English word. So he maybe knows 3 or 4, and one of them he probably won't be able to use too much at preschool, but that's probably my favorite right there.
Yeah, for me, obviously my first one's pretty obvious. My other ones probably would be the parents' trips every year. First year I got to bring my grandpa. That was pretty special. He's a guy that's, drove me around a lot growing up and was at every hockey event he could be at. So I got to bring him. We had a mom's trip. That was pretty awesome. Mom's asked too many questions though, but and then we obviously have had a couple dad's trips, and it's always a blast. Getting to show your parents what you do for a living, and getting to be in the meetings and travel and all that stuff. So those are my favorite events.
Absolutely love it. I would say we're going to throw you guys a quick scenario real quick, and I'll probably go to Rob first on a little Freaky Friday. And we already mentioned it, like who would be better at each other's sport? I don't know. I know being from Canada, I'm assuming you could skate, but you could also be Bambi on ice. So is Rob, I know with the sewer ball, can you give everybody a little lowdown on what you guys do on some pre-games?
Who survives at a practice longer without coach being like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I cannot run. And I feel like my feet just don't work the way a soccer player should work. I can punt the ball at you, but without any control. So I don't think I stand much of a chance.
You could chuck him in goal, though. Right?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, learn from Roman.
Yeah. Sit behind Roman. No.
Are you a pretty good skater?
No, I'm definitely below average. But I can stop if I go with my left foot. So as long as I don't turn that way, otherwise I'll just smash into the boards. Probably would last a couple of minutes before getting screamed at.
I love it. I mean, so you guys obviously have had so much success so far in your young careers, and you're tied down for long-term deals. Locking down that deal, being as successful as you are and as dialed in as you both are, give me one or two things that motivates you specifically as an athlete. Is it a mentor? Is it a role model? Is it a specific type of playing? What's one or two things that motivates you?
I think the main one's just love of the game. I think kind of as you get older, sports get harder, and you kind of get a little sick of them at some points. But the more you just love it, I think the better off you are. I think that's what gets you to the highest level and keeps you there. I think you got to love it. You got to do it every day, do the same thing every day, and sometimes it can get a little repetitive. But if you really love it and are competitive in it, then it'll suit you well. So those would be my two things.
Yeah, I'd probably say earlier in my career is definitely just doubters and doubt fueled me, just being undrafted and just feeling overlooked. And then now, a little bit on, we've had some success with City, and even it was a couple of years ago, I started to kind of see the player around the corner that I could be, in a moment, but I feel like I can never quite get there. So I think that being able to see like I can improve and get to the next level and just desiring to do that motivates me.
Yeah, having that glimpse, and obviously then you get in front of City Park, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Just one other question we have you guys on the sporting aspect. As far as what you guys do in your free time when you're watching other sports, what is kind of the one that you lean towards outside of your respective sport? I know, Rob, you're a big fantasy football guy. At least that's what you mentioned to us last year. So is it the NFL? Is it college football, basketball? What do you guys like to do?
Yeah, I'm an NFL guy. We had a fantasy football group going with our team. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the team started really hot, but it really took a plummet at the end, so I just missed the playoffs, which is devastating.
Is there any good punishment for the boys that are getting last? Or?
Well, only one guy's getting last, and so I really wanted the bleach blonde punishment. There was one where they suggested he'd go sit on Santa's lap at the mall and stay there until security came. He's one of our equipment managers, but pretty sure he would have lost his job. So I was like, let's not. He's a good guy. Let's not get him fired. So we're still figuring it out. The votes are still out.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm all NFL too. I love watching and baseball. I love going to games, but my fantasy team stunk this year too. So we had a tough go. Took Kelsey and Mahomes first two picks.
Ooh,
great players. Haven't been great. So
I have Mahomes as well.
The Swifties went down.
What was that? Was that? I saw that the Blues posted you had to put your hair in ponytails for a pregame. Was that a part of fantasy football, or what was that?
That was not the bet.
No.
That was a funny one though. That was good.
Another time.
Yeah, I was involving the dads on the dad's trip, and that's
better.
all I'll go.
Yeah. Even better. I mean, we both know that you guys talked about already that you guys love playing here in St. Louis. You love playing at Enterprise Center, City Park. I mean, we're on the stoop here. But where's your least favorite place to go and play?
No, he's got it real quick. I think he already.
Well, I'm going to chirp your hometown for a second.
Oh,
I hate
no.
going to Winnipeg.
Why? What's the deal?
It is freezing cold. It's like go through your skin cold. So obviously a big division rival. Jeez. So we've had a couple good playoff series, or one good playoff series against them, and that's about it. I don't like going there.
I was actually rooting against you guys. That was before I got here. Yeah, I was heartbroken.
That's awesome.
I'd probably say Seattle. I mean, they're in the NFL stadiums that are turf are typically not the nicest turf, and I feel like the result of the game makes a big difference. I mean, we kind of got smacked, so you're like, man, this stadium sucks, right?
Next year, you go beat them next year. I mean,
and then I'll like the stadium.
then
right?
you'll love
Then
it.
come back
Then you'll
after
love
we
it.
did
Love this place.
question.
Turf just does that.
I'm like,
to
man,
you.
it's nice. Yeah.
I mean, so we talk about St. Louis a little bit more. We're kind of getting into this part of the conversation. Obviously, we have a very vibrant food scene. We have a lot of other cultures as well, but let's stick on food for a second. Where do we find ourselves going for a good meal? I'm not saying necessarily nice, overly formal, but where do we find ourselves? Family comes in town, they say, where should we go for a meal? Where are you advising them?
I would probably go to Louis on Demond.
Nice,
Nice. That's my number one for
Love
sure.
it.
Love that spot.
Solid choice. Yeah,
Matt does a good job there.
very solid. Have you been to Louis, Kyle?
I have not.
No,
Well,
you
no,
gotta
I
go.
think we just called it Louis. We went, I think, as a team. What was the last?
It's on Demond Street.
I'm gonna go ahead and
No, it's like Central West End.
I might have just gone there.
Yeah, there we go, yeah.
It was really
Well,
good.
obviously, it
was
didn't
good.
really stick in his mind. So I don't know.
Guys just said show up here.
Yeah.
So I showed up there. We used the fine money to pay for the food, so it was free.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
It's a great day.
a good day. A good day. Yeah. I like for both the contracts that when I got with the wife, we went to Twisted Tree.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was a nice spot. We enjoyed that a lot.
That makes sense. And so, with both of you guys being from Canada, we have some other more specific questions later. But what are some of the things you guys noticed, especially coming here for the first time? What do St. Louisans do weird? What do we say weird? Is there anything odd you're like, and somehow you guys fell in love with it, but anything to really call out?
It's a tricky one. I know we always say A, but I don't really notice anything in St. Louis.
I think that's
Other
our
than
open.
people are just too nice.
And you've been around going to Missouri State, so probably a little bit harder of a question.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I don't really. Feels like it just sounds so normal compared to. I mean, you're around so many, especially in soccer, so many global sounds, right? From South America and from Europe and from New Zealand and really from Africa. So it's like the guys with the accents are not the American guys, right? So I can't say.
That's good.
Well, how about let's get out of food. Let's step out of the food scene. Let's get into just generally what we like to do when we're not playing, we're not training. Are we golfing? Are we going to Forest Park? Like, what do we like to do when we have some free time here?
Yeah, golf's obviously a big one. Just got a puppy, so love walking in the park. And
What
he's
kind? How's that been?
Bernedoodle.
Nice, nice.
He's a little too smart for his own good. But no, so I love walking him in the park and take him golfing, do everything with him. So it's
Take him
great.
golfing?
Oh yeah,
How does that go?
it's frustrating. He loves stealing my ball and he runs in the sand trap with it. And then I got to go rake the sand trap.
Play
and
where it lies.
Yeah, it's just, but it's awesome. He enjoys it.
Love it. Kyle, how about you? What do you like to do?
Yeah, I'm honestly probably more of a homebody, or we've got some different, friends in town. I like to play like card games and stuff, so we'll go over to their place or they'll come over to ours and just hang out. Yeah, I guess I like to be at home.
Yeah. I think we're going to kind of turn it into, Jake, unless you had anything else, trying to turn it into a little bit of festive questions.
I got
for
one
you
more
guys.
thing I just thought of here.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
so you're mid-season. You're going to go into preseason pretty soon here. It's crazy that that's already happening. But yeah, the breaks. But any goals we have, either individual or team, for the 2023 season and the 24 season, and then the 2024 season that you guys have either on your own little billboard or team goals you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, for me it'd be playoffs. I mean, it was absolutely killing me watching it last year, not being in it. Every other year we've been in it, and felt like we had a chance. So that's the only goal I got this year.
Yeah, I'd say team-wise, just being in CONCACAF Champions League and Leagues Cup, Open Cup, MLS Cup, Supporters Shield. There's a lot to win in soccer. I think it would be a big team goal to win something, to get a banner in the stadium. And then individually, I had one camp with Canada. I got my first international cap, but opportunity to get back in with Canada. There's the Copa America in the summer 2024, so that would be a real special experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to bring us into Festive a little
Do
bit.
it. Do it.
And we'll keep it light on this first one, but what do you guys notice, at least from, or any traditions that you guys have back home that you don't see in St. Louis as far as Christmas time or anything that you guys do with your family specifically? Or is it all pretty much the same?
Yeah, pretty similar in terms of kind of everything going on. Couple traditions. We got this little game we play on Christmas night. You wrap like a box inside of a box, and you keep going. You have like probably 6 or 7 boxes, and you got oven mitts on. And you put a little money in the middle, and you got to try and open it up. And you know the person in front of you is rolling a dice, and you got to try and hit 6. And you hit 6, then it's your turn, and you just keep going around until whoever gets the money. So that's always awesome. You need to get like a reinforced table for it. It gets pretty violent, but yeah, that's other than that, we always go to church, and that's it for me.
Yeah, I think Christmas, last year we were home, and for the previous X number of Christmases, I had built an igloo. There were 2 young kids and a mom.
Shows you how cold it is.
Yeah. When it comes to snow, staying with my family, and so it was like one of those fun things. And then I would last just home for like 8 or 9 days, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it this year. And then my dad was kind of like, yeah, you probably don't have time, or you're too old. All right, so it was like 7 a.m. in the morning. My wife's still in bed. I'm shoveling the snow in a pile. So that's been my Christmas thing. We'll see if it continues going this year.
Yeah. I mean, the more important question, we all submitted our letters already. I know you guys have already done that, but what did we ask Santa for this year? Anything specific you want to share with the group? The deadline was a week ago, by the way, so hopefully you've already gotten that done. But
Yeah, well, my mom still pushes the Santa's real thing, so I always get something from Santa every year. It's great. Still haven't complained about it. I don't know, to be honest. This is my first year hosting, so I got all of my family, my girlfriend's family, so just hope that everyone gets in. I know Toronto gets a little crazy around Christmas, so.
are you cooking? Are you behind the kitchen
No,
on this
no,
one?
no.
Okay. All right. Know that
Not
place.
yet. I haven't earned the stripes yet. But everyone gets in safely, and that's all I got.
Love
Yeah, mine's probably similar. Last year we were in Canada, and then we're trying to come back, flying on Winnipeg around Christmas time. Blizzard, flight got grounded. So we stayed there longer. We missed Christmas with my wife's family. And so just something that I would be super thankful for is if we can actually get to Canada and then back from Canada. Like if we can do that, you quality time with family here in St. Louis and in Winnipeg, that would be what I'd wish for.
I'm getting the Winnipeg thing now. I
Yeah,
knew nothing about Winnipeg before this, but you're describing it, and it sounds tough. It sounds tough.
Tough. That's not what I'm trying to do.
You can't go in or out of it. You're building igloos.
I'm trying to incentivize it.
Yeah,
There's
you're
snow.
not doing a good job.
Camaraderie.
Wouldn't lie to you.
No, I feel you.
Wouldn't lie to you.
And before you guys go home to your families and all that, do either of your teams do like a gift exchange? And then on top of that, who would be the last guy on the team that you want to get a gift from? If it was like a Secret Santa and this guy picked you, you'd be like, God.
You can say it.
I got
you can
about
say it.
8
Safe
names
place.
to list off.
That's a long list.
I'll go with Kairu. No explanation. Just,
Yeah, I'd probably go Celio.
That's where I thought that was going.
I don't think he'd get me anything, to be honest. I think he'd just show up, be like, oh, I didn't know.
So, I mean, hot debate here, and we're gonna get into a couple debates here in a second, but we'll start off with this one. When is it appropriate to start playing Christmas music in your mind? Are we team early? Are we team Thanksgiving, and that's the threshold, or are we not pushing it until we get closer to Christmas time? When do we think it's okay to start playing Christmas music?
I'm an early person, so usually right when the tree goes up, which is usually probably 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, maybe a week and a half.
Okay. You call that early?
Not early?
I'm kidding. No, I'm personally
Canadian
a Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
It's a Canadian Thanksgiving. Yeah, there you go.
it's
There you
like
go.
right
Oh, that
after
makes
American
sense. Yes,
Thanksgiving.
yes, that's fair.
This guy over here puts tree up, I think, on, do you even wait for Thanksgiving
Just
to be,
right
like,
after summer.
cleared off the
Right
table?
after summer.
Yeah.
We're up.
Yeah,
We're
right
up and
after
going.
yeah.
How about you, Kyle?
Mine is more of like a flexible timeline. Whenever soccer season ends, Christmas season begins.
Oh.
So when you're in college, it's usually somewhere in November,
Yeah.
but then you get the Christmas music going. We had a college tradition. Kevin's in the back where we used to do rest of the world guys versus American guys in a game of basketball. Probably one of the worst games of basketball you ever seen in your life. But always you go into the locker room and Christmas music's playing. It's whenever the season's done. So I'd say that's like, whenever that ends, that's when Christmas begins.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, way better than Jake's answer, where it's literally still 90 degrees outside and the man is playing.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Debatable.
And we're going to end it here with a couple of this or that's. So just a quick question to you guys. If I ask it, we'll have you answer first. Go to Rob, then we'll go down to Jake, and then circle it back this way. But first one, real or fake tree?
Real.
Fake.
Got some diversity in this one. I like it.
yeah.
I like it. All right, this kind of is the same theme. Tree up before or after Thanksgiving?
After.
After.
And then tree down before New Year's or after?
After.
Is that a choice, or is that just more like I'll do it one of these days?
It's a New Year's resolution.
Check. Mittens or gloves?
Gloves.
Gloves.
That's shocking. There's no way your hands stay warm in Winnipeg.
Kyle's got to wear a coat on his hands.
You're inside the igloo.
Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Christmas Day.
Day, for sure.
How about when you're wrapping presents? Are we doing it in the wrapping paper, or are we just sticking this thing in a bag?
Oh, wrapping paper.
My wife's wrapping the presents.
All right, and then do you get your shopping done early or late? And so wait, we all should define early and late. Like 2 weeks into December is probably getting closer to later time, but
Oh, that's late.
yeah,
I'm late.
Late.
absolutely.
Definitely late.
Eggnog or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Okay.
Elf or Christmas Vacation movies?
Oh, Elf.
Elf, for sure.
Ugly sweater Christmas party or your done up kind of Christmas cocktail party?
Pajamas.
That'll go.
I like the Christmas pajamas.
That'll go. The onesie? Are you doing the onesie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
I'll go sweater.
There we go. And then do you guys do vacation or staycation? I would even say staycation is going to your family's house. Or do any of your families usually go to like a beach or anything?
I'm a staycation guy.
Yeah, stay for sure.
On that, just want to take a quick detour. What's the vacation? What's the next vacation spot you guys want to hit? Doesn't need to be planned. What do you want to go to soon?
It's a good one. Probably Turks and Caicos. I think that's my next one.
Not Winnipeg?
Hell no.
I was in, actually last year I was in New Zealand seeing an old teammate, but he might get married. So it's like if he gets married in off season, go back to New Zealand again. So
There you go.
round 2.
And then, so when you do buy your Christmas gifts, is it online or in store?
In store.
I'm all online.
Yeah.
In store, Kyle. Really?
Because I leave it so late, yeah.
That's super late.
Can't
my
trust the shipping.
All right. This is going to help us all St. Louis sincere because we love accents. We love to have our own little words here. But tell us the truth. You guys are both from Canada. This is one of the national products of Canada. Maple syrup or syrup? Or is there a difference when I'm saying that to you all?
I'm just going to say it and you can take what
Yeah,
you
let's
want.
go.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Syrup?
I think that was different.
I kind of heard syrup from you. One more time, Rob. Give it to us.
Maple syrup.
He switched it.
He's a hybrid. He's a hybrid of that one.
I don't know what else to
He
go.
wants to know. Well,
That gets us through all the questions that we have, but I want to do one thing, and I want to open up. If the crowd has one, maybe two questions we have time for before we cut these guys loose, feel free to raise your hand, speak it. I'll speak it into here, and we'll take it. Anyone have a question for Rob or Kyle or both? That would be ideal. No one has questions. Yes. Pre-game rituals, you guys.
Not too superstitious. Love to sleep, so just a nice
Sleep.
in the
Are we like
afternoon,
napping
good
before
nap.
the game?
Oh yeah. Yeah, usually right after lunch. Good solid hour and a half. That's what I love.
All right, like in the locker room? Like, where are we? Where are we?
Showing up early, he's got the
at our
skates on,
house.
just leans back.
Brings the pillow and the blanket in the locker room.
Yeah, no, we usually skate at like 10 o'clock, so usually get home by 12:30.
Power nap. Like it.
Absolutely.
Kyle, how about you? Anything?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more, not superstitious, but very ritual-based. Just when I eat, there's like a 10-minute window of like, this is when you eat before a game, and then an hour and 45 minutes after that, that's when you have a banana. And so it's like, I need to hit those exact time windows.
So you're superstitious?
That's superstitious.
Just found
I'm not superstitious, just a little. To the minute.
Oh
a
my
little
God.
superstitious. Yeah.
Kevin.
What's on your pregame playlist?
Pregame playlist. What we got, fellas?
I like this.
Depends on the kind of, if we're in the springtime or fall, mostly country. Big country guy like Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, all those guys. Kind of in the winter, more like Drake, that kind of stuff.
Canadian guy.
Seasonal. Funny about that.
Seasonal. What's funny? Who laughed?
No, I feel like locker rooms my whole life, there's always 3 or 4 guys who have to have their tunes on before the game. So I'm sit back, enjoy, or judge, pending the quality of the song.
I'm assuming Celio's one of those guys.
He's not, no.
Really?
He's not, no. Nico's the guy for the most part.
Okay.
Yep.
Who's your favorite St. Louis celebrity?
St. Louis celebrity, fellas.
Ooh, good one. Probably go with John Hamm. Is he from here? He's from here.
Yeah, he's from here. Yeah, you're good. That checks out.
I knew it, but I wasn't for sure. But yeah, he's been a good guy to get to know.
St. Louis celebrity. Man.
Can you name one, Kyle?
I mean, as a football guy, when the Rams were still here and Kurt Warner was out there slinging it, that was an easy guy to root for.
Absolutely. Warner was a beast. Yes.
I was gonna say, what's your favorite moment in your career?
Favorite moment in your career? We talked about highlights, fellas. There's anything specific that stands out?
Well, the obvious one's the Cup and Father's trip we talked about. My other one would probably be playing in Toronto for the first time. It's pretty cool. I had so many friends and family, a bunch of people growing up that all came. I think I had like 70 people there. So that was pretty cool. Just the stadium you go to watch games in with your dad and brother and stuff like that. So that was probably a pretty cool moment.
I'd have to go my first goal. We were away in Portland. It was game number 3. We went down early, equalized, came back, and then I remember I headed. It's not like hockey, which I think we should adopt the hockey style. Like if you touch the puck last, and no matter what happens, you get the goal. I like head it, and it's like going in. The guy like bikes it into the top corner. So I score, and the whole time, like the last 10 minutes, I'm thinking like, is this really my goal? Are they going to give an own goal to this guy who does not want an own goal, but they gave it to me, and it went down as a game winner. And we had a 4-hour flight back after the game, and I was just wired the whole flight. It's the best flight of the year.
I actually scored a header goal.
A header goal?
Yeah, I was in front of the net and I turned around and it smoked me right in the foot. And it went in. So I got one header goal.
So maybe he'd be the better soccer player.
Potentially. That's what we're hearing.
That's basically all I do the whole game.
Yeah. We've got proof now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One more question. We got Keith.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh, biggest pet peeve.
Complaining gets me. You guys coming in, I know there's definitely moments where, it's a rough moment, you're sharing about it, but just, I just feel like it can suck the whole environment down. So that anytime someone's complaining, at home or whatnot, it gets on my nerves. Makes me start complaining, and then I see the irony of the whole situation.
I don't know. I would say loud chewers. That's crazy. That would be my one.
So specific.
Yeah.
Thinking of someone
Nothing
specific.
sports related.
I got a couple guys.
A couple guys in
Stay
mind.
away from a pregame meal.
We don't need to get names.
Yeah,
We don't need
I
to
almost
get
said
names
name, and I'm like, no,
Not going there.
that's not coming out.
All right, that's it for questions. Hey, everyone, give it up one more time for Robert Thomas and Kyle Hiebert.